Eric Farnsworth of the Center for Strategic and International Studies joins me now for more. And Eric, thank you first for the time. But I want to take a survey of the U.S. presence in the region. We've already deployed a warship, a submarine, planes, and 10,000 troops just off the coast. President Trump says this is about keeping drugs out of the U.S. What do you think?
Well, it's definitely a departure from what we have normally done since we turned back our bases in Panama 20-some years ago. We really haven't stationed troops in the region in any significant way. So this is a departure. It's surging troops into the region, certainly using Puerto Rico as a base, but also naval assets, and frankly, also assets from mainland United States. We've sent B-52s over the Caribbean in the last 24, 48 hours. So this is something that is new. And really takes a new approach to the drug war.
Okay. President Trump confirmed earlier this week that he authorized the CIA to expand covert operations, and he also signaled possible ground strikes in Venezuela. Is the stage being set here for a regime change?
Well, quite possibly it is. The fact is the Venezuelan people a year and a half ago on July 28th, 2024 actually voted for regime change. They had elections and they voted for the opposition candidate. So they clearly want Nicolas Maduro gone. But from the U.S. perspective, is that something that we would be prepared to enforce? And I think that's clearly an open question. Look, the assets do exist to perhaps take out regime officials, a decapitation strike, that sort of thing. But is that on offer? I don't think we can necessarily say that just yet based on the administration's posture. They clearly are increasing pressure. President Trump is well known for taking maximalist positions as a negotiation tactic, and this could be part of that. But I do think a lot depends as well on how Maduro responds, and if he reacts in a way the White House finds favorable, then maybe they'll declare victory and move on.
Well, and I'm curious, how valuable is Venezuela strategically to the U.S.?
Well, it's a really good question. Previously, it was very valuable strategically. Look, Venezuela has the world's largest proven reserves of oil. And at a time during the Cold War, when OPEC was very, very important and the U.S. was a net energy importer, to have that supply from Venezuela was strategically important. Now it's a lot less so because U.S. production has increased dramatically. OPEC is less important in the global scheme of things. And frankly, Venezuela's own oil sector has been basically destroyed by incompetence and corruption, and the regime that's taken it as a way to fund its own non-oil related activities.
Well, and lastly here, there are some that would say the U.S. is blurring the lines between the war on terror and the war on drugs. They would also go on to say that economic sanctions haven't accomplished what the White House ultimately wanted to. So, is this, in your opinion, just a return to the days of so-called gunboat diplomacy in the region?
Well, that's certainly been an argument from some people, that's for sure. Look, economic sanctions tend not to be able to get entrenched leaders out of power anywhere, whether it's Venezuela or anywhere else. We've seen that time after time. So if you really are intent on removing somebody from power, most likely it takes the use of force to do that. But this is, again, not something necessarily that, that, as I understand it, the White House has decided that they are going to do or that they will do. The assets are there to have that availability, that opportunity, but it's going to take a real determination that this is in the U.S. national interest because, as Colin Powell once said, if you break it, you buy it.
Eric Farnsworth, thank you.